So, I had never done Cerberus before I started this hardcore, as my main was never 91 Slayer. Therefore, I had to make sure I didn't die a horrible death while I was learning how to do it. Now, I've got all 3 crystals, so I figured I'd make a guide and show you some tips I learned along the way. The only hard requirement to killing Cerberus is level 86 Slayer. That way you can boost with a wildfire to get to level 91 and kill it that way. However, I really wouldn't recommend that, as it would be pretty annoying having to eat a wildfire every single minute. I would honestly recommend that you just get level 91 Slayer, that way you don't have to worry about using wildfires. But if you want to start a bit earlier, maybe get to around 88 or 89, that way you don't have to eat quite as often, and you can still get the kills. Oh, and I should probably also mention that you need to either be on a Hellhound Slayer task or a Cerberus boss task. Personally, I'd recommend having at least level 70 to 80 prayer for this, for 2 reasons. 1, so you can use piety, that'll speed up the kill a lot, and 2, so you can reliably deal with ghost attacks as they drain prayer. As for melee stats, I'd say around 80 is the lowest I would recommend for attack, strength, and defense. You can do it with a bit lower than that, you just might not have a very good time. That said, if you're ready to kill Cerberus, you probably have these stats anyway. I would also suggest having at least 70 agility to use the pipe shortcut through the blue dragon lair, although 80 would be preferable as it would allow you to pass over the strange floor near the poison spiders. Both of these shortcuts will make the journey to Cerberus much quicker. If you don't have at least 70 agility, you'll need the dusty key, and honestly the journey to Cerberus might just be too long for it to be worth it in my opinion. Additionally, I would recommend moving your house to Tavali. This will be the fastest way to get to Cerberus outside of using Keymaster teleports. If not, you can simply teleport to Falador. If you have 70 agility, go through the pipe to the blue dragon lair and follow this path. If you have 80 agility, follow this path through the spikes. Be careful to avoid the poison spiders and protect from melee against the hellhounds. If you really don't want to get 70 agility, this is the path you'll have to take using the dusty key to get to Cerberus. You'll also probably need an anti-dragon shield to get through the blue dragons. Don't do this would be my recommendation. You will always be on task when killing Cerberus, so a Slayer helmet is a given. I would recommend using an Amulet of Torture if you have that. If not, a Fury is fine and will give you a bit extra defense bonus as well. For capes, I recommend a Fire Cape, an Inferno Cape. You could also use a Defense Cape if you want the Ring of Life effect. For blessings, Raider's Blessing 4 is the best. If not, you can use any blessing. As for weapon, I would highly recommend you use Arclight. The only time I wouldn't say use Arclight if you're low on charges and you want to save them for something else. A Zamihastra Crush or a Bludgeon will work fine as well. As for chest and legs, full bandos would be the best. They have good range defense and will be best for DPS. If not, you can use a tank body and a Verax plate skirt. For the shield slot, a Spectral Spirit Shield will be by far the best to use, as it will have the prayer drain from the ghost attack. If not, you can use a Dragon Defender or a Verdict Defender. They will also be very good for DPS. If you're taking too much damage from the ranged attacks, you could try using a Crystal Shield, and that way you will be tankier. As for boots, use Primordial Boots if you have them. If you're watching a Cerberus guide, you might not have them, so just use Dragon Boots. For the glove slot, use Ferocious Gloves if you have them. If not, use Barrow's Gloves. They will also be slightly tankier if you want more defense bonus. For ring slot, I'm a hardcore, so I like using a Ring of Life in case I DC or something like that. You can also use Berserker Ring Imbued for most damage, or Ring of Suffering Imbued if you want to be a bit tankier. Moving on to the inventory, a Super Combat Potion is recommended to save inventory space. If not, you can just use a regular superset. It was recently discovered that anti-fire potions reduce the damage from the lava pool attack, so if you're learning and you want to take a bit less damage from that, bring this. The ratio of prayer potions to food will be a bit different for everyone, so you can adjust it later on, depending on what you're running out of first. What I like to bring is 7 prayer potions, 8 anglerfish, 2 Karambrans for combo food, and fill the rest of the inventory with sharks. I'd also recommend having a one-click teleport and house teleport runes if your house is in Tavali. If you're doing the ghost skip method, you'll want to bring full Guthans as well as something to increase your melee and range defense. I bring a Crystal Shield, but you could use a Din's Bulwark or anything else that makes you tankier. This is because you won't be attacking sub part of the kill and will just be tanking damage. An extra tip I just found out is that you can actually use the Ancient Mace on an Ornate Undead Combat dummy, and you will hit your max hit, and you will overheal your prayer to higher than your max level. I've got 110 prayer, you can do that before every trip, and if you've got a Pool of Rejuvenation, you can just restore your spec there. And man, I wish I'd known that before I grinded Cerberus. I like to pre-angle before travelling to the Cerberus to make each trip last a little bit longer. Once you're in the Keymaster room, make sure to peek at the winch to see if anyone else is currently doing Cerb. If there's no one there, you can turn the winch to enter the boss room. Before I show you how to kill the boss, I want to explain the various damage sources when fighting Cerb. This is very important for hardcores as you will want to know what to try and keep your health at. If you're not bothered about dying occasionally or think you can handle it, feel free to skip this part. Cerberus has 3 basic attacks that will be used throughout the fight: magic, ranged, and melee. Each has a max hit of 23. You will default to praying mage for most of the fight, so the damage from this can essentially be ignored. Therefore, most damage will be from ranged and melee attacks, meaning that having good ranged and melee defense is necessary. Cerberus will also use a combo with these attacks, although they can be completely avoided, as I will explain later. Once Cerberus is below 400 health, she can summon 3 souls. This will be signalled by a howl. Each soul will have a separate combat style. Red is melee, green is ranged, and blue is mage. They will attack one by one from left to right. If you don't use the correct protection prayers, they will each deal 30 damage, totaling 90 if you don't pray against any of them. This is why I would recommend that if you want to be extra safe, stay above 90 health when the ghost is summoned, just in case you mess up your prayers. The ghost attack in combination with other attacks is the most likely way you could die as Cerberus, so stay alert for this attack. Protecting from the ghost will drain 30 prayer each, or 15 if you're using a spectral spirit shield. Make sure to stay above 60 prayer for the ghost attacks if you want to block all 3. If your prayer is less than 30 when protecting from a ghost attack, for example, even if it is at 1, don't worry. It will still block all the damage and will simply drain your prayer to 0, as long as you still have some prayer when the attack hits. Finally, when below 200 health, Cerberus can use a lava pool attack. This will be signalled by a growl. Standing on a pool when it is spawned will do 10 damage, afterwards standing on a pool will do 15 damage every 2 ticks, whereas standing right next to a pool will do 7 damage every 2 ticks. If you have Protect from Magic on and have drank an anti-fire potion, then it will do 6 damage every 2 ticks. As long as you're paying attention, then it's quite easy to avoid taking much damage from this attack. It's mostly only a threat when used alongside the ghost attack. This is why I like to overheal with Anglefish when there is a ghost attack below 200 HP, just in case you get caught out with both attacks. With that out of the way, I'm going to show you what an average kill should look like. First, I make sure to drink my anti-fire potion and my super combat. To get to the boss, you have to go through this little flame wall, which will do a little bit of damage, and then make sure you've got your quick prayers set to Protect from Magic and Piety. At the start of every kill, Cerberus will use a combo attack. This will be first a mage attack, then a range attack, then a melee attack. There's an easy way to avoid this. Start off with using Protect from Magic, and then as soon as you see the magic attack, switch to Protect from Ranged immediately. As soon as you see the ranged attack, which is the little spiky ball, then you can switch to Protect from Melee. After the melee attack has happened, go back to Protect from Mage for the rest of the kill. I use my Arclight specs at the start of the kill to lower Cerberus' defense. If you're using a weapon just to get DPS like a Dragon Dagger or a Dragon Claws, I recommend using it later on in the kill, that way you'll spend less time on the phases that can use ghosts and lava pool attacks. If you can one-tick flick, I would highly recommend you do this during the kill as it will save you a lot of prayer points. However, I'd only recommend doing this if you're comfortable with all the mechanics. Cerberus has just howled, which indicates that the ghost attack is about to happen. This is a good time to make sure you have a decent amount of health and enough prayer points to protect from all 3 ghosts. You want higher than 60 prayer points to do this. The ghosts will only start to attack a second after they have stopped moving. This gives you plenty of time to see which order the ghosts are going to attack in. In my case, from left to right, I will need to first protect from mage, then melee, then ranged. I make sure to turn Protect from Mage and Piety back on after dodging the ghost attacks, and then I continue attacking Cerb. Here Cerberus howls again, which means I need to prepare for another ghost attack. This time, Cerberus also growls, which indicates a lava pool attack is about to happen. I simply dodge the lava pools on the ground and focus my full attention on what prayers I need to use to protect from the ghost attack. I need to be careful here as this combo of attacks is probably the most dangerous thing that can happen at Cerberus. And that's an average kill complete, and I'm going to show you how to use the ghost skipping method. To do the ghost skipping method, you want to start out wearing full guffins. Set a 58-second timer going as soon as you start attacking Cerb. After this, block the starting combo as usual and keep attacking Cerb, making sure to keep her above 400 HP. You will need to keep her above 400 HP until the timer has run out. Be mindful of what your max hit is to make sure not to accidentally do more than 200 damage to Cerb. Cerberus is now at 426 health. This is at a range where I could accidentally do too much damage in one hit, so I stop attacking and put on my tank gear and wait. Prayer flicking is a great way to save prayer while waiting. Once the countdown is finished, you want to kill Cerberus as quickly as possible. If you can kill her quickly enough, then you can avoid the ghost attack entirely. And there's the kill without a single ghost attack happening. This is a fantastic way to save on prayer potions, it's great for Ironman. My only problem with it is it takes a little bit longer and it's a bit boring than the regular method, but you just have to decide which one you want to do. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a few little bits of extra information that you might find useful. First of all, if you kill Cerberus after the ghost is summoned, they will not attack you and will just disappear. Second of all, Cerberus actually has a specific pattern of attacks that will be used. This is how the ghost skipping method works. It's based on the amount of attacks that Cerberus uses rather than the time spent fighting. The timer is just there to make things simpler, as it represents the amount of time it takes for Cerb to do the amount of attacks required to get past the ghost step. No matter what method you use, if you want to, you can count the attacks to dodge every combo, as they won't just be used at the start of the fight. Now, I can't be bothered doing this personally, but if you want to take less damage, the option is there. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. I also stream at twitch.tv/99spikester. If you want any advice, you can leave a comment on this video, or see if I'm live and ask me there. I might even be killing Cerb. With all that said, thanks for watching. I'm new to making guides, so if you have any constructive criticism, I'd be happy to hear it. Alright, see you in the next one.